What's up, you guys? Matt Jablonski here with The Point of Change, and tonight is the return of The Point of Change Meets. We were supposed to start off last Sunday, but I wasn't feeling well. So thank God our awesome guest tonight is so patient and wonderful and eager to get on here and hang out with us. So we got this rescheduled for during the week. So here we are tonight, firing off with The Point of Change Meets Dayna Moore. I'm excited to have Dayna up here for a third time to come hang out with us. We've kind of heard her story in the past, so tonight we'll kind of give you the Reader's Digest version of her story for anybody that hasn't heard it before. And then we're just going to hang out and talk about recovery and talk about some of the cool stuff we've done. So come on in, guys. Hit those hearts, hit those thumbs ups, care reacts, all the positive emojis you can. Throw some tags on the board. I see some people are already doing that, so that's awesome. I appreciate you. If you're watching on Facebook, if you're not watching this live, drop a hashtag replay in the comments. Still hang out with us. If you're watching on YouTube, like this video, subscribe to the page, and make sure you check us out on Facebook because we got a lot more cool stuff going on over there with memes and stuff like that. Let's see, merchandise drop. If anybody's looking for merchandise for The Point of Change, go to shop.spreadshirt.com/thepointofchange and get yourself all merched up. We also have paid supporters here on The Point of Change. So if you're interested in becoming a supporter, there should be a green badge down there in the bottom of the screen with your reactions and stuff. You can hit that and get signed up to be a supporter, get access to a little closed group with the other supporters, and you get a cool little badge by your name. Isn't that cool? What's up, guys? Brandy's here. Angie's here. Michael is here. Good to see everybody. Thanks for getting those tags. Dustin, what's going on? Josh and Lori in the background there. What's going on, guys? Good to see ya. Thanks for coming by tonight, guys. All right. Let me get Dayna up here. And then before we get started tonight, today we laid to rest one of our followers and one of our friends here at The Point of Change. As most of you know, on Christmas Eve, Tammy Pouliot had suffered a pretty massive heart attack, and she passed away the day after Christmas. Today was her funeral service, which was live broadcast on Facebook, which the live feed they had some trouble with, but there is a video of it posted now. If anyone is friends of Tammy and you wanted to check that out, you can. So I'm going to bring Dayna up here, and then we'll just observe a moment of silence for Tammy before we get to rattling. But just for right now, guys, throw up some hearts and welcome our guest tonight, Dayna Moore.
Hey, y'all.
What's up, Dayna?
Nothing. How's everybody doing?
Oh, we're doing good. We're doing good. So I thought before we get talking, let's just take a second of silence for Tammy, and then we'll get to hanging out and talking recovery, guys. So get those shares on the board, everybody. And moment of silence beginning now. Amen. All right, everybody. Thank you guys so much for observing that with us. Tammy was a good friend of us here at The Point of Change. I'm going to miss seeing her name in these comments. That's for sure. Dayna, did you know Tammy?
I did know Tammy. She was an amazing, amazing woman. Amazing woman. Very caring, very her recovery was just amazing. She was just an amazing lady.
Mm-hmm. I love that she came into recovery 364 days before I was born. Like the day after my birthday, but it's a year before. So so she's literally been in recovery since before I was born. Crazy.
Yeah, she knew everybody. She she was in every recovery group, but she loved you, Maddie.
Oh,
you were like her little favorite.
Well, I added up brownie points by going and saving her when she got locked out of her Facebook that time. So
yes, I remember that. Yeah, she's an amazing woman.
Very thankful. She's been on here before as well, too. So I'm very thankful we've had her on and shared her story.
Yes, she's a sweetheart.
Definitely.
All right. So how's everybody doing? For those of you that do not know me, my name is Dayna Moore. I'm a grateful recovering addict. My recovery day, clean day is 1/3/2019. I know, 4 years.
4 years.
As you go into recovery and you have the length of time that Maddie and I have, you get a lot more confidence about stuff. You think about stuff. Recovery is not so hard. First
Right.
couple, 2 or 3 years, recovery is kind of like all your emotions are coming out. You just, it's hard,
Yeah.
trying to find, it's basically, the way I put it is, I started my life over at 51 years old. Like a fresh kid getting out of high school, starting over with everything because I lost everything in addiction. Quick run over of my story. I had a regular childhood, went through high school, smoked a little weed, drank a little beer, nothing big, just kind of, the teenage thing. I moved to Oklahoma. I got a job. I was doing really well. I turned and then I started doing the bar thing, doing cocaine, just recreationally.
Started stepping up.
You can't say just with an addict, but I wasn't like crazy back in those days.
Yeah. Still had somewhat of a handle on it.
Yeah. Just like on the weekends, go out with your friends, drink some beers, go dance and do whatever. I got married and had my first child when I was 27. I worked in restaurants and everything. So we'd all go out and drink and, do recreational drugs, but nothing crazy. And I got married. I had 3 kids back to back and didn't do any drugs when I was married, just dove into my kids. PTA president, just freaking soccer mom, orchestra mom, just, everything was about my children. So fast forward to, let me think, my son was in 6th grade. I found meth. I started using meth. I was divorced at the time. I had custody of my 3 children and I had a job. Then I didn't have a job. Then I met this guy. Then I was kicked out of one apartment after another, couldn't keep a job, kept getting cars repossessed, and finally was living in hotels. So my in-laws very graciously took over custody of my children because I was in no position to be their mom.
Yeah. As the old Rocket Man song goes, Mars is no place to raise your kids.
Yeah. It was just, my kids, they've forgiven me now, but it has taken so much guilt. Sorry.
Oh, it's okay. It's an emotional thing.
I'm supposed to be strong. It's been 4 years. So anyway, I ended up getting arrested and going to jail for the first time a week before my 50th birthday. And I went to jail. I was in there for 24 hours. They let me out because I had never been in trouble. And they said, you're okay. So I got out for my 50th birthday. My children came over. I went back Monday morning to sign my paperwork on my PR bond or whatever they call it. And they arrested me. And I said, why are you arresting me? I was just in jail. They said, well, your charges hit. And I'm like, well, what does that mean? I mean, I've never been in trouble. So I'm like, well, what are you talking about? I've already been in jail. Why are you taking me back? So they took me back to jail. I was calling my daughter because at that time I was getting evicted from yet another apartment. And one of my daughters was living with me. And I told my oldest daughter, I said, just please find her a place to go, get whatever you can of the apartment and just leave me here. Because she was wanting to bond me out. I'm like, don't bond me out. Just let me stay here.
That's
I'd never been to jail. I was like, whatever, just leave me here. We didn't have the money or the funds to get me out. And where would I have gone if I had gotten out? So I sit in there for 32 days. I get out. They put me on probation. I'm like, okay, I get out. I have nowhere to go. No apartment, nowhere to go. So I start flopping around on people's couches, staying with different friends. The guy that I was with at the time was in jail, of course, because he was in jail more than out. But every time he'd get out, I'd be like, oh, that's my love. Let's get back together. and you know where that leads,
Yeah.
back into the same old shit. So anyway, I ended up flip-flopping on couches, not going to probation because, probation, what people don't understand is they let people out of jail, they give you probation. If you don't have a place to live, then you can't get a job because you have to have residency, and so I was just like, whatever, just went and lived on the streets. I didn't care.
Mm-hmm.
So that went on for about a year. I didn't get in any more trouble, just running around, dodging police, just not trying to do anything, just doing whatever I needed to do. Then I turned myself in because I was like, I'm tired of running. I just want to get this done. So I go turn myself in. They thought that was quite weird because people don't do that.
Not very often.
They pull up and here's this old wrinkled white lady and they're like, oh, okay, she doesn't look like a threat. Throw me in the car, take me back. And they put me on probation again. This time around, I found a friend to stay with in an apartment, and I started doing the probation. Well, then the girl I was staying with was using really bad. And I was like, I really don't want to do this. Well, of course, I fell back into it again. Me and her ended up getting in a fight, and I'm back on the streets. So this time around, I'm on the streets for like a year and a half.
Damn.
And so and I found safe place, and I wasn't rolling with other homeless people. I was just by myself, pushing my little grocery cart down the street full of my little things. And, I would always find safe places to sleep. And in San Antonio, if you sleep in front of a building or something, as long as you are up and gone before daylight, before the police see you, you're all right. So I would always sleep like in front of a church. I had 3 or 4 different churches I would sleep in front of. I had a couple dumpster hiding places I would sleep behind, And so I was staying next to this church in Northwest San Antonio, and I'd been staying there for quite a while. And the pastor told me, he said, as long as you're quiet, you can stay here. And I was like, okay. So I stayed there. Well, of course, all these other freaking homeless tweakers come over there and they think they need to move in there. Well, he comes up to me and he hands me $20 and he's like, you need to go ahead and be on your way. So what do I do with the $20? I get the warmest set of clothes that I have on me. I go to the laundromat and I wash them and I stack them on top of each other because jail is cold, and I go turn myself in for a second time. So I'm in jail all layered up. I'm in jail all layered up, and all these girls are like, man, you got a lot of clothes on. Can I get that coat? And I'm like, yeah, no. So this time around, they give me a public defender. I look at him and I said, you know what? I don't have a place to live. I don't have any way to do this probation that you guys are wanting me to do. I said, can you just let me go do the jail time? By this time, I'm like 52 years old. I'm like, I don't care if I have felonies. I just want this done off of my, my head, whatever. So I'm only in there for like 3 days. We go to court and he's like, well, I got your probation again. I'm like, dude, well, I guess it was my probation officer who I had seen 2 or 3 times from, the previous time. She's like, she does not need to go to prison. That woman does not need to go to jail. So I get out and I get this message from this girl that I had previously met in jail the first time I was there. Didn't know the girl. And she's like, hey, I'm staying with this lady. She's a bedbound lady. Do you want to come and help me out with her? You'd have your own room. I just need you to help me out with this lady. And I'm thinking, oh my God, God is intervening here. I will have a place to live. I could take care of this lady and I can do my probation. So I go over there and this lady, she's a bedbound military lady, and she saved my life. I mean, that woman, she was like, you need to go to your probation. If you need money for your fees, blah, 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 go and do it. So I did it. Yeah, I did it. And then she passed away in May of, I want to say May 2020. Yes, May of 2020. And she had no family or anybody around. Of course, they all came out of the woodwork when she passed away about her house and stuff. And I told them, I said, all I had was medical power of attorney. I had a lawyer doing her finances and everything. I said, I'm just getting everything back the equipment, VA home, you know, having everybody pick up the stuff. And I said, then I'm not going to stay here. So I called my family here in Utah that I hadn't talked to in many, many years because of the lifestyle I was leading. And they let me move up here.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's a beginning of a long amends right there. But
yep, I love my family. They're wonderful. I have great family.
When you start putting the action in, how the bridges start to reform. You know what I mean? Like, it's just for, you know, if however long you were running, your family wants you to come back, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Well, I mean, and the first time I went on with you and was talking to you, and my mom watched, and she was like, I didn't know anything about any of that. You know, because it's not something I came home and said, hey, guess what?
Yeah.
You know, but I mean, if I can help anybody ever that just needs somebody to talk to. I mean, we have a great group of people here at the Point of Change, loving, caring. I mean, I couldn't have got with a better page than yours.
Aww.
I mean, we're all of us, we're all like friends. We can call each other. You know, I talk to all these girls on here. Mm-hmm. And we all call each other and message each other. Hey, how you doing? What's going on? We all have each other's phone numbers, you know, even though we've all never met. You know, we're all like sisters and brothers in recovery.
Yeah, this online family's legit. It's legit.
You know.
Uh-huh.
Nothing better.
I love it. I love it here. I'm very thankful that we started this, and that, you know, thanks to you and everybody else that's here to continue building this, you know, and I love hearing things like that, because I mean, I know it, but when I hear it, it just makes it so much more real. Because I know you guys all talk to each other outside the videos.
Oh, we do. We do. You know, we're all really, really, really close.
That's awesome.
You know, and new girls from other pages and stuff, you know, start reaching out, and we all bullshit and carry on our business, you know, and just give each other a lifting up in life, because, you know, people are just too harsh to judge, and people just need to be nice. Just be nice. Just walk up. I mean, I work in a grocery store, and my favorite clientele is all the elderly people that come into our store. I go up and hug them. Hey, how you doing? How's your wife? You know, people don't get out a lot, especially elderly people. And just for somebody to come up and care, even though I'm probably a complete stranger to these people, you just got to be nice. Just tell somebody, hey, you look beautiful today. Hey, that's a great dress. You know, just give somebody a compliment. Just be freaking nice. People are so rude and judgmental and just ugly. And that's not what life is about. God put us on this earth to just be kind. Help when you can, and be kind to others.
Yeah.
You know,
the first and most important commandment is love your or what is it? Love your God with all your heart, your soul, and your mind, and love your neighbor as you love yourself.
Yeah. And I mean, this was a concern and a question that I was talking to you about the other day, about the newcomer. You know, we have all these people that are years and years and years into recovery. And it's like, how do we reach out and bring, you know what I mean? Bring people into recovery.
It can be hard. It can be a daunting task. And we have to try and make this, you know, try and not make it bullshit, but make it appealing. You know, you want people to see that this life is better. And so by doing the best we can is all we can do to help the next person come in. Because I mean, all these people that have years and years and years, we were all at day one at one point. But I mean, like the fresh talent is wonderful. If you have like people who are early in their recovery, a lot of people like tell people in their early recovery not to share about it, you know, because they want you to be able to ride the bike before you try to tell other people how to ride the bike, you know. And I get that. But sometimes I think it's good for people who are in early recovery to share their story and stuff, because it can be more relatable for somebody who's at day one or at day two or at day zero, you know. Because I know when I first came into recovery and started finding Facebook pages, and it was like everybody that I watched, same thing you're saying. It was like they were all like, yeah, I got 5 years of recovery, I got 10 years of recovery, I got 15 years, and I'm back here barely picking up a year, you know. And it's like, it can make you feel kind of small. So I understand where you're coming from there, but hopefully we can just keep leading with example. you know?
Yeah.
But keep brainstorming on it, because if you come up with any awesome freaking plans, I'm behind you 100%.
Yeah. It's just, I mean, it's hard. I work with a lot of people that are in early recovery, not early, but 6 months,
That's
which to
early.
me is like forever ago,
Uh-huh.
and I'm constantly like, oh my God, I'm so proud of you. Oh my God, and I tell all of the people I work with that they all have my phone numbers. I'm like, if you ever feel like using or jumping off that cliff, you fucking call me. I will go to your house. I will pick you up, whatever, because I want to see, and these are all wonderful, great, very more knowledgeable and focused on it than I was at 6 months for sure. I'm talking
Yeah.
to some of them. I'm like, holy shit, really? Because they're just like spewing out stuff that I didn't even know about until like 3 years in. It's like, just makes it's kind of crazy.
That's cool though. That's like you learn from the people who are ahead of you and the people that are, not as far along on this trail. You can learn from them as well. Like, it's awesome.
Yeah, because there's all different, all different kinds of stuff. Oh, I have to give a shout out to one of my children in San Antonio, Tyler Maine, just hit 14 months clean. Tyler.
Ooh, I think I seen that name in the comments here, so I think Tyler's
Yes.
watching.
I am so
Yeah,
stinking proud of him. I am
right on.
he was one of them kids that when I was on the street, he would drop everything he was doing. If I got in Wi-Fi and called him and said, hey, somebody's harassing me or whatever, he would drop whatever he was doing. It wouldn't matter what time of the night. His ass would be right there. Who's touching my mom? Who's touching my mom? I mean, that kid, I am so, so, so proud of him.
That's awesome. Guys, throw some hearts up for Tyler on this video. I don't know if he's still
Woo,
here, but if you're
Tyler.
still here, Tyler, woo, that's awesome, man. Yeah, there he is. There he is. What's up, Mom? That's awesome.
I am
awesome.
so proud of him.
That's cool.
All these wonderful kids, It's good to see, people that you were in active addiction with, like, make the complete go around, and it's like people down there still freak out and go, your mom's been in recovery for 4 years. People that knew me back in the day, they're like, holy shit, we thought she was dead, because
they don't hear
I
from you
just,
no more.
no, because,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
I have no desire to be around any of that anymore. Like, none.
Yeah. Isn't that awesome?
Yeah,
we were talking about that before we went live. Like, after the click, after whenever your click comes around, where all of a sudden this stuff just clicks, it's like, they say recovery doesn't get easier, you get stronger. I half agree with that. I believe that, yes, you do get stronger, but recovery does really get easier, because in the beginning, like you were saying, your mind is still so screwed up. You got court dates to keep up with. You got probation to keep up with. You got old people from your old life still hitting you up. You got rumors still flying around about you that can really get in your head and mess you up. Like, and after a few years of this, like, all of that really starts to die off, because all the people that talk shit, they ain't got nothing to talk shit about no more, because you ain't around. So like, they don't have anything to say anymore, so they all start to realize you're not going to get drugs and anything. So they stop hitting you up. Like, you complete probation, you complete all these things, and life kind of chills out. Recovery kind of chills out.
Yeah, it does. Kind of, I mean, you still don't know everything, because there's something every day that you have to learn, but you tend to like put your efforts into things that are more positive. And I'm still, Maddie, after 4 years, I'm trying to find my purpose. I'm waiting. You know what I mean? I'm like, the ball's got to drop sometime where I will know what I'm supposed to be doing in this life, because God left me alive after, I could have died a million times, but God left me alive for some reason, and I don't know what it is.
Well, you know what? I heard the other day, somebody said this saying, the more I learn that I have a lot to learn. And I was like, that's very true.
Yeah. Because you never know it all. And people, it was really hard for me the first couple of years in recovery, because I would talk to people that were still in addiction, that I knew that were still in addiction. And they felt like I was trying to act like I was better than them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and I wasn't trying to come across that way. And I mean, to this day, I don't really I listen more than I speak. When somebody is talking to me that's an active addiction, I listen to what they have to say more than speaking, oh, well, you need to do this. And because everybody's recovery is different.
Mhm.
So I don't sit there and spout off and go, tell them what they need to be doing, because I've come to the point where I learned to listen instead of speak about it.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Because
when somebody has things that they know they could work on or they need to be working on, and then you come around and you talk about all these things that you are working on, it can feel like an attack. It can feel like, oh,
yeah,
look at you over here on your high horse, when really we're just talking about what we're doing. What we are doing is
yeah,
cool shit,
yeah. I mean, it's not high horse. It's like we've done all this to achieve what we have now. We've been humbled. We appreciate, I
Mhm.
appreciate, although I do have kind of I do have kind of a hoarding issue going on. And I don't know if this is because I was homeless, but I have a real big problem with hoarding food.
Oh.
I work in a grocery store, so it's like, oh, well, this is on sale. Well, yeah, I think I need this. So, yeah, I actually loaded up a bunch of the canned goods and put them in the back of my car to go donate at the food bank, because I think that's some kind of weird trauma thing with me. You know
Well,
what I mean?
it sounds like it. It's definitely like a like going from famine to feast kind of situation, and it's just like
I know. It's like
and I
it's
I'm the
it's
same
like
way with some stuff. I'm like I never had this stuff before, so now like I gotta have this, like I get it, I get it. But
it's
maybe
crazy.
maybe in that you'll find something to do with your purpose as well. If you're really good at hoarding food, maybe a future at a food shelf or something
Oh,
would be
well, I
good
don't
for
know.
you.
I did find this one lady. There's a really cool page here called Moms Helping Moms, and this lady runs it, and she takes donations, clothing, food, and that kind of stuff. And she has a web page on Facebook, and she gives it away for free to moms in need.
Oh, that's awesome.
You know,
That's a
which is
beautiful.
really cool. So I just ran into another friend of hers that's on the page, and she cooks food for people that have COVID, people in the hospital, this, that, and the other. So there we go with the food. I can be like, here you go, girl.
There you go. See,
I just,
you find your message in the mess. That's where it's at. That's where it's
oh
at.
God, the food is just out of control. And I live in a tiny trailer, and I was cleaning and I was digging under this bench. I found all these bags of canned goods, and I'm like, what the hell? What is this doing here? Like, oh my God, never going to be without food.
That's
Never.
good. That's a good thing right there. And
Well,
that's like sometimes finding your purpose, like sometimes we think too much about it. You know what I'm saying? Like you start to really dig in and trying to find your purpose and trying to find the meaning in what you're here to do. And sometimes you will overlook what it was. So just keep your eyes open, keep your ears peeled, and what you feel and what you can do for hours without even that stuff that's hard for other people to do but easy for you, and something you can get lost in, that time flies when you're doing it. For me, it was like I just started to piece together all the things I always loved. I love helping people. I love talking. Like I love
no,
being on my phone
no,
and doing
Maddie, not
Facebook.
you.
So so all those things got mixed together into the point of change.
Yeah. And you do an amazing job. Don't ever let anything get you down.
I will try
Never.
not to. I'll do my best to stay on the positive. Stay on,
Okay.
as Caitlin says, you got to stay on the positive path. She says, stay on that PP.
Yes. Caitlin is a very inspirational young lady.
Got to keep it on the PP.
She is just groovy.
She is. She's awesome. I love my groovy hippie chick.
She is a groovy hippie chick for real. She's great.
She definitely is the yin to my yang. That's for
I
sure.
know.
We
I know.
balance each other quite
She
well.
gets you to do all these crazy things like the gong thing. That was really cool.
That was super cool. I love those. I love that gong meditation, and she got me to jump out of a plane and climb a mountain and
See,
just,
yeah, I want to do that too.
oh yeah, it's beautiful stuff. It's beautiful stuff. Takes a little bit of insanity to do it though.
Well, we all, you know what? We've lived through the worst, so that really is really nothing.
It really isn't. It really isn't. I'm very
Does anybody
thankful
have
for.
any questions?
Ooh, let's see. Let me see. I'll scroll through the comments here. Let me do it over here so I can pop them up. Let's see. Let's see. Mary Huffman says, Dayna Moore, your purpose will change and you won't even know it because you are living your purpose.
Oh, thank you, Mary. You're so sweet.
That's
She's so
awesome.
sweet.
Let's see. My mama says underlying mental health issues also play a big role in early recovery as well.
I love you, Miss Patty.
We love you too, Mama. And I would
The bird
definitely agree
lady.
with that. My mom was like Snow White out there singing to the birds and having them come to her hands and stuff.
She is.
And I would agree that underlying mental health issues play a big role in early recovery because a lot of our mental health issues that we have that we don't even know about, that we are personally medicating with our drug of choice,
Yeah.
and so some of our mental illnesses were held at bay because of the drugs we were doing. Some of the mental illnesses that we struggle with were amplified because of the drugs we're doing. So once you get off of the drugs, you may find mental illnesses that you didn't know you had, and you may find that mental illnesses you thought you had were actually just being perpetuated by your drug use, and getting rid of the drugs makes your anxiety or depression way easier to manage than you ever thought.
Yeah.
Let's see. I don't see any questions so far in here, though. If anybody does have any questions for Dayna, go ahead and throw them up in the comments. Let's see. Jessica, we have to show the newcomers that it's possible and that there is a wonderful life waiting for them after addiction. We will have our bad days, but once you reach recovery, the worst days are behind you.
Yes. Amen, Jessica. Amen. It's just, I mean, I've been to like 2 NA meetings here with people from my work that attend NA. And I don't know. I mean, I'm not bashing the program by any means. I am not bashing the program. I didn't, you know how you walk into something and you just don't feel it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I just couldn't like.
Well, it's with NA and AA, it's definitely, I always say it's kind of like an acquired taste, because like it's kind of like if you go to an old timey church and you've never been to one before, there's a lot of like a lot of symbolism and a lot of chants and stuff that they do that you might not know, like for instance at AA and NA meetings, a lot of times they open with either a serenity prayer or a reading from the book or something like that, or they have like what they call the call and the recall or whatever, where like the person who's chairing the meeting says a thing and then everybody echoes a word back to him.
Yeah.
Or like, he'll say one day at a time, and they'll say, and every day at its place, or whatever, and,
I mean,
and you hear that.
I'm just wondering if I should just like go to a couple more meetings to kind of check it out. You know what I mean? I mean, I don't know.
I always say,
because I mean, there's not any.
No, go ahead.
I mean, because I want to go and help other people, but I'm not going to strike out on my own as some kind of no NA rebel recovery girl. You know what I mean? Like, come do it like me. You know what I'm saying? But I'd like to go help those in addiction. And I mean, if the only way that I can do that is by going to these NA meetings and maybe, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Well, NA and AA is definitely, like I said, it's an acquired taste, but it's definitely somewhere where you can find an outreach program to get involved with. And also there's Smart Recovery and Celebrate Recovery and other things you could check around in your area and see what all options are available, or you could become a peer support counselor and work out a
I've checked into that. It's online. In fact, I might do that this year. It's online certification. You have to do so many in-service hours, which with my job, I would have to check and see what the in-service hours require. I would love to do that. They have tons. Oh my gosh, this place has hundreds and hundreds of recovery centers. Hundreds. Yeah,
Awesome.
this is that town. And so, they have, I mean, there's 2 on the street I live on.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, they're everywhere. So I guess I just need to, get off my ass, excuse my language, and proceed.
Yeah, just put your boots on the ground and figure something out.
You know,
Mhm.
Okay, I would like to read this little poem. Okay.
I would love that.
This is called Something More by Jimmy Osborne. It was years ago I fell from grace to find myself in a hellish place, but I faced my fears and made a change. Now I can finally face the rain. Daylight reigned and darkness fell at the tolling of the morning bell. I broke the chains in which I was held and escaped that cold and lonely cell. Some say that only time will tell, but I served my time in that private hell. And I'm no closer to the answer still, as far as I can tell. But if there's one thing I know well, I have a thirst that can't be bequelled, that keeps me searching for something more, for a verse that can't be spelled.
Wow, I like that. That's deep.
What is that?
That's nice.
That is some knowledge
Yeah, that's beautiful.
by Timmy Osborne. He's
I
a
know.
he's a poet.
Yeah, he is a poet.
He's a poet.
That's very well
All right,
written.
Maddie, what you want to talk about?
Oh, I don't know. I was hoping we'd get some questions here in the comments or something, but let's check what we got here. Mike says, thanks, Maddie and Dana. You're welcome, Mike.
Love you, Mike.
Love Mike. Let's see. My mama says a peer support specialist position would be a good option for you.
See, that's what I need to check into that. I think that would be good too.
I think so too. I think you would do great at that. And especially if you're in an area where it's kind of you got a lot of options around you, there's definitely some things you can do to help the recovery community.
I'm thinking so.
Nick says, it took a bit, but NA has done wonders for me. However, no two people's recovery is exactly the same. Remember, pickle butt.
Freaking crazy. Craziness.
I appreciate that, Nick. I definitely do.
Yes.
Genesee says maybe non-traditional meetings if they have them, or jails. That's a good option for an outreach.
Yeah, but do you have to have your peer support specialist certification to go to jails?
You'd probably just have to talk to them and see. I know a lot of jails want you to be like associated with something before you come in there. Either like
I just can't be associated with me, myself, and I.
You could be. That's what I do. I didn't have anything to be associated with, so I started something to associate
your
with.
Own gang, your gang of one.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Dana. I'd like to come in your jail. I'd like to come in your jail and talk to people. Can you just let me in?
I promise I'm not going to lead the revolution. I promise it.
Right.
Yeah. Jessica says you can become an ordained minister and go into jails and prisons.
Well, there you go. If I hurry and do it, then I can ordain at you and Caitlin's wedding.
There. No, our pastor's doing that, but thank you.
I can do the videograph while I'm there. I could be a 2-for-1.
Brandy threw us a question. What would you suggest to a person new to recovery?
Ooh, that's a good question. I would suggest people, places, and things was my big deal. You have to, as hard, and it's really hard for people in new recovery to ditch the friends, because that's part of the high too, is running with the friends and doing things with the friends, and then you go into recovery and you have no so-called friends. I would try to get the person as far away from where they were using as possible. Like, I moved like 3 states to get away.
Yeah.
I mean, I really commend people that stay in the town where they used. You know what I mean? Because they go by that parking lot, or they go by, that wherever, or that motel. And that's hard. That would be hard.
I think it would be anyways. I'm sure there's people that have a different perspective on that, but I'm the same. I had to move 4.5 hours away. I'm You know, when I go back up there anymore these days, going back up there is kind of, I wouldn't say it's triggering anymore. In early recovery, it definitely was very triggering because exactly what you said. Like every road I went past, every house I went past, like it was like,
Yeah.
yep, I went down there to meet a guy for a bag one time. Yep, I've been in that house to, did meth in that basement. Yep, I did that there. I did that there.
Yeah.
And it's just constant reminders of my old life. So me, it was a no-brainer that I had to get out of the area. But like you said, I commend people that live in the same area, that, recover in the same area where they used. That's mind blowing to me.
Yeah, because I know that when and if I do go back to San Antonio, which I will go to visit. I mean, my kids are in Texas. I don't know when, won't be anytime soon, but I'm sure I'm going to probably tool around to all the places that I used to sleep outside and go, oh my God, I can't believe I slept there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Crazy.
And I tell everybody that I know, I'm like, you know what? But if there's ever an apocalypse, I'm the one that would know how to survive. I would
Right?
know where to go get food. I would know how to build a cardboard house, because I mean, I'm not proud of being homeless, but I learned a lot. I mean, I learned how to survive with nothing. I mean, just like nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And it definitely makes you very humbled once you have food, a job, teeth, teeth, you know,
Uh,
teeth.
I know that was something that jail taught me, that lesson of just how little you can have and survive. Like it's just amazing how little you need to actually survive in this world. And like, because in my active addiction, it just always felt like I needed so much to make a life work, And in
Yeah,
recovery, I've learned that most everything you have is a bonus. Almost everything you have
yeah,
is a bonus.
yeah, yeah. It makes you, it's it's definitely humbling, definitely for sure. To be able to go home. You know, my sister gave me a car. My other sister was like having to haul me around everywhere, which I totally appreciate everything that my family does. But it's just the little things, I get in my little car and I go to work and I go home. And, I have a beautiful trailer that my mom got for me. And, I just live a very, very quiet life. And with COVID being over and stuff, I'm getting to spend more time with my mom and family and stuff. And I really enjoy that. I like getting together with the family and eating a meal and, talking and being crazy and talking about the old days. And it's very rewarding to be at the place, you know,
Amen.
and I thank
Amen.
God every day, all day long, because without him, I would not be here,
Amen.
you know?
Amen.
All right, Maddie, darling, are we finished?
I think we're finished here.
All
I think
right.
we
Thank you
covered all
so
the bases.
much. Thank you
Thank
so
you
much
so
for
much.
everything you do. I'm sorry my lives aren't fun and crazy, but I'm kind of old and bitter. So,
This was fun and crazy. What you talking about? I had a great time.
all right. Well, I love you very much. And you tell Caitlin that I love her.
I
Thank you,
definitely
Point and
will.
Change family, for being there for each other. I love you
Yeah.
guys very much.
Well, we love you, Dayna, and hopefully you'll come back next year when you're celebrating 5 years.
No fronts.
No fronts. No fronts. None at all.
All
But
right. Thank you, Maddie.
all right. Love you,
Have
Dayna.
a
Have
good
a good
night.
night.
You too. Bye.
There you have it, guys. The Point of Change meets Dayna Moore. That's her third time being here. What an awesome person to have come up here and share with us. I love Dayna so much. She's so wonderful and just bubbly and full of life and full of wisdom. And thank you, Dayna, for coming on here and for sharing that poem with us and for just sharing your story. I know we were just going to quick glance over her story, and it's hard to just quick glance over your story. We were going to just like 2 minutes, just quick go through it. But once you start, sometimes the web we weave in our active addiction that found our and the road we had to walk to get to recovery, it deserves our respect. And sometimes when you tell it, it's kind of like, well, I can't tell that part if I don't tell this part, so it gets a little twisty. But I'm really happy that she spent that time to tell us where she's been and where she is now. And that's just a testimony to anybody out there. If you're in a rough spot in your life, just know that like 5 years from now, your life could be completely different. You know, we rewind time 5 years and Dayna's living on the streets, you know, and now here she is tonight celebrating 4 years of recovery with 4 walls around her and a warm bed to sleep in and more food than she can handle, so much food that she's donating food to other people. So wherever you are, just know that you can change your stars and that you can manifest a beautiful life for yourself. Believe in yourself, put your boots on the ground and actually do the work. And it's amazing what you can get done. So I love you guys so much. I hope tonight brought you some hope and brought you a little experience. Maybe you learned something or got a good laugh out of us or just had a good time. I love you guys for tuning in tonight, and I love you for being here. And thank you for continuing to help me grow this page. We're reaching a lot of people. We really are. This page has grown exponentially since it started. And I'm just blown away by the amount of support we have here, by the brother and sisterhood that we've created here. You guys have each other's backs. Like, even when I don't know it, you guys got each other's backs, you know? So if anybody's looking for an awesome place to put some roots in for their recovery, right here at the Point of Change is a good place to get started. Thank you guys for joining me tonight, for all the reactions and the comments and being an attentive audience and soaking in this good information. And I hope you guys have a beautiful rest of your night. Get some self-care in. Do something that you love. I hope that God brings a blessing into your life. I hope you see that you are loved, man. I hope you see that you are loved and you are worth this. I will see you guys. Let's see. Am I going to see you guys tomorrow? I believe so. I believe I will be able to be here tomorrow. So tomorrow evening, it'll just be me hanging out. So come on by and hang out with us. Until then, stay happy, stay healthy, and stay clean.